Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sportsfall Jersey. Joe Archino back here, and a quote for you to start the segment with today. I retire from pro football. That coming from Peyton Manning just a little while ago, officially announcing his retirement. And of course, on Sunday, ESPN, everyone, it kind of was coming down, hitting the wire, and we all were waiting for today for Peyton's comments. And really, it ended the way that the whole story has gone, and that's just being grateful, being thankful for the opportunities, thanking the organizations, and just a genuine admiration and respect and love for the game of football. All the things that made Peyton Manning kind of stand out and so special is exactly what was encompassed in this farewell to the game and farewell to the media and everyone else. And I don't think it's goodbye forever from the game because as you saw in this and as we know about Peyton Manning, it means so much to him, this game. It's been his life. He grew up around it, his brothers, his dad. It's all he's ever known. And I think in some capacity, which a lot of us has kind of made predictions about, he will still be very involved with the game in whatever capacity that he wants to be. But it's one of those things where now that kind of we can close the book, the chapter on Peyton Manning, the questions always come and arise now, and there's no question, no doubt in anyone's minds at all that he'll walk into the Hall of Fame. The question, though, is he the greatest of all time? It's been something that there's been so much debate about, and there will always be debate about, but there's so many unique things about Peyton Manning. I don't know even to this day if I would say he's the best quarterback of all time, because it's a difficult conversation to have, but if you wanted to argue it, there are many things that would really help substantiate your argument. Most above all else is that he brought 4 different coaches, which meant 4 different teams, to the Super Bowl. He won 2, he lost 2, but that's the nature of the NFL. All of those teams all had different personnel, different coaches, different ways of doing things. Players in the NFL don't adjust well to change. They just don't. And the quarterback position, more than any other, is so based on consistency and familiarity in doing things the same way. When you kind of bring in and you do this thing with 4 different coaches, that's 4 different ways of doing things, that's 4 different philosophies, that's 4 different coaching staff changes with personnel around those changes. That is a lot of change to throw at one player during his career, but that never really was a detriment to Peyton Manning. He was always able to overcome despite being handed those situations, and that, above all else, to me, is what makes Peyton Manning arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. Joe Montana always had the consistency of having the same guys around him, the same coach, and that always leads to being comfortable and having stability. When you are unraveled constantly by different coaches and different players in different situations, it's more difficult to find consistency, and consistency breeds success easily in sports and life. I wouldn't, maybe not easily, but easier in sports and in life. And certainly Peyton Manning, that's not something that he has had when compared to Montana, or even Brady for that matter. Brady and Belichick have known each other their entire NFL careers, basically. They've been tied to the hip, and really it's been Belichick and Brady in a lot of similar pieces around him. Clearly, as time goes on, other pieces change, but when your core stays intact, that makes it so much easier on you. And again, it's just not something Peyton has had the advantage of having compared to a guy like Montana and Brady. And you look at the MVP awards, you look at other things like that. The other thing that we all know so easily is Peyton is the smartest player to ever play this game. And I think sometimes we look at Flash today, guys like Cam Newton, guys who use their legs, Russell Wilson, mobile, pocket passing, guys who can make all the plays in any number of ways. But there's still no one we've ever seen who can just look at a defense and instantly break it down. He knows what the linebackers are doing. He knows what the corners are going to try to do. He knows and reads it before you even show it. And that is what makes the game of football so special. The biggest jump to the National Football League is your ability to understand NFL concepts, understand NFL verbiage, and break all that stuff down. It's not just knowing your own team's schematics, it's figuring out the other team's schematics, and that's something that can be very, very difficult, and it can make or break anyone, but Peyton has been the master at doing that. There's never been another player who can just recognize anything. Again, he's the smartest player. You have to be very smart to play quarterback and to succeed in the NFL. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks who aren't all that with it up where it matters in the smarts department, and they have failed because of it. Peyton Manning is the smartest quarterback we have ever seen, and that is a big part of the reason why he's been able to take 4 different coaches and 4 different teams to the Super Bowl, because his intelligence is what has helped smooth over those difficulties. If that had been a Tom Brady, I'll be honest, I don't think if Tom Brady was put in the same situations like Peyton Manning, where he had different coaches and was put on different teams, if he could have brought them to the Super Bowl that many times. I just don't know. I think that's something exclusive to Peyton Manning that not anyone else could ever have done. But certainly this is a time now where we reflect and we look back at what made Peyton Manning stand out and so special and just makes him differentiate himself from anyone else. And there are a lot of things you can look at. I think this season, more than anything else, was kind of a gift. I've heard Colin Cowherd talk about it, a gift from the football gods. And I think it really is, because for so long, Peyton Manning had carried just lackluster defenses, and for once, he had the talent around him. Sometimes his teams had failed him, but now for once, Peyton Manning's team had helped him out when he needed the help more than ever, and he was able to walk away a winner, and there's no better way to walk out. I mean, that's why we all talked about maybe he will return. Maybe the fact that this is taking so long is a sign that he will return, but more than anything, I think it's just he was looking at his options. He wanted to just take his time with it. There's no need to rush, and he walks away a winner. And it's so difficult to not walk away a winner, because tasting the sting of defeat, there's nothing more painful. And when you walk away with the biggest prize imaginable, what more could you ask for? What more could he do? And like I've said, I think we all reasonably expect that he will stay on with football in some capacity. Again, being a smart guy like he is, naturally you would assume player evaluation might be the next area for him. Perhaps a GM role. Certainly the sky will be the limit. Anyone would be willing to take a chance with a guy like Peyton Manning. Look what John Elway did with the Denver Broncos. I mean, this was a team desperately searching for answers before he took his role with them. Just desperately searching for those answers. Couldn't find any. He comes, instantly changes things for them. I think Peyton Manning, I mean, the stories and the lineage of Elway and Manning are very similar to one another, and certainly for Peyton Manning, he has a lot more things that make him stand out, even more so than a guy like John Elway did, and John Elway was a heck of a quarterback, but Peyton Manning, it is a legacy that will never be forgotten. It is one of those things where if you want to make the case he's the greatest of all time, I think you have substantial things that support your argument, and for him especially, the hard work and the ethic. I always remember watching the Book of Manning, and I think it was Eli who said he's so afraid of being underprepared that he always will over-prepare, and certainly that won't just get you far in football, that gets you far in life. He certainly has been the model example of consistency, of doing things the right way, and doing things the right way matters in sports and it matters in life, and certainly those are some things that he has always been able to carry, and I know the football community has always been able to emphasize and be able to hold on to, but Peyton Manning, gone but never forgotten in the eyes of football fans. Until next time, Jersey Joe Archino here with the Sports Vault. You could follow me on Twitter at Joe Archino and on Instagram, Jersey_Joe_Archino, and I'll see everybody next time.